Coffee and cats, how one local cafe is helping to save feline lives, and how soon you may be able to dine with those cats.
And a final touchdown. The goal a UNM football player was working on before he was killed, that the team is now honoring this morning.
Plus, curbing a dangerous hobby, the new initiative by police that could help slow street racing in Albuquerque. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Happy Monday to you. It's January 25th. We'll get to those stories in just a bit, but first, you'll need to grab those jackets. We're looking at a cool down.
Sure, our Kristen Curry is watching what's happening right now. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, cooler temperatures today and snow later on tonight. So an active start to the work week. Doppler radar not showing much out there now. We have some high clouds here and there, but really nothing to ruin your morning commute. We'll be watching this closely, though, as the winter weather advisories are already posted for the northeast and east central areas. That does include the eastern slopes of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. This kicks in later on this afternoon, continues overnight. That's going to be the time frame for the best snow chances later on this evening. Hourly forecast, we got a lot of sunshine here in the Duke City today. Temperatures, though, cooler. We're going to take a break from the 50s, get back into the 40s today and again tomorrow. But it's this rain-snow mix that I'm focused on later on tonight. Along and east of the Central Mountains, heads up, you have snow headed your way overnight before things start to quiet down Wednesday into the later end of the work week. So a lot to talk about today. I'll break down where I expect the snow to fall first, as well as how much we're talking coming up in about 15 minutes.
And we start with news happening right now. A new APD operation is underway targeting drag racers. We tagged along with officers this weekend as they patrolled the areas where a lot of racing is reported, like on Montgomery and the Heights. A handful of officers are now doing extra shifts to target racers, thanks to $60,000 in overtime funding provided by the City Council. Now, while it's hard to catch the racers in the act, officers simply hope their increased presence on the streets will make some of them think twice.
On an average night, you'll pull over a couple cars, and it takes some time to issue tickets, citations, certainly arrests, but the other drivers will see that you're out here.
The operation is expected to last the next couple of months. Some officers, though, they say they would like to see it become permanent.
On this morning, some immigrant children from Central America are waking up at Holloman Air Force Base. That base started taking in those kids on Saturday. Authorities say they're planning on housing as many as 700 children in an unused wing of the base. All of the children are fleeing from violence in their home country. Holloman was chosen as the first of 3 temporary shelters to open in New Mexico, Colorado, and Florida. Those shelters are in addition to those that already opened outside of Dallas in December.
On to this morning, the man accused of stabbing his wife with a screwdriver is still locked up. Arturo Flores was in court yesterday after police say he repeatedly stabbed his wife early Saturday morning. According to a criminal complaint, Flores stabbed her almost a dozen times during an argument. His name might sound familiar because in November, police say Flores went on a crime spree, stealing a truck, trying to rob a gas station before crashing into a car while driving the wrong way. He then tried to steal a hospital shuttle. For the most recent allegation, he's facing aggravated battery charges this morning.
In just weeks, a new center to help people who struggle with alcohol addiction in San Juan County is scheduled to open. The county says the sobering center is being built to fill a gap left by the Four Winds Recovery Center that's expected to shut down soon. Four Winds Recovery has been the only detox center in the county for years. The new facility is scheduled to open on March 1st.
On to this developing story. A virus at the Sunland Park racetrack is hitting hard this morning, keeping vets busy there. The New Mexico Livestock Board and State Racing Commission confirmed 5 horses have equine herpes virus. The strain can cause severe neurological problems. Several barns at the racetrack are now under quarantine. The virus is not transmissible to humans.
6:04 now, a local football standout killed in a tragic crash is being honored now with a jersey number that he always dreamed of wearing. Markel Bird and his girlfriend Alexis Ortiz were heading home to San Diego for Christmas break when their vehicle blew a tire near Gallup. Both were ejected from the car. Bird was killed instantly. Before Bird was killed, though, he had one goal, and that was to wear number 1 under Coach Bob Davie, something that no other player has done. During an event to honor his life yesterday, he received that honor.
Markel, you just got jersey number 1.
Markel had 2 more years of eligibility left, so Davey says no one will wear his number 22 during that time. The team also plans to put Markel's new number 1 jersey in his locker, and no one will wear that number for 2 years.
What a great gesture
really
by
is.
UNM.
I know his family's probably very happy. New this morning, ISIS has released a propaganda video that claims to show 9 of the men behind the November terror attacks in Paris.
Yeah, this is a still frame from the video. The gruesome, roughly 18-minute tape shows the attackers' so-called final messages and some of the militants beheading hostages. The identities of the victims are not known at this time. Footage also shows Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron. A terrorism analyst says that suggests the United Kingdom could be the next target. We'll stay on top of that. On to news happening today. Fed-up Detroit teachers are expected to stage another massive sick-out this morning. A judge is also expected to hold a hearing today that could put an end to these protests. Teachers say they are against poor pay, class sizes, and bad building conditions. Last week, more than 80 schools closed as a show of support for more than a dozen teachers named in an injunction to stop the protests. Teachers say they will stand outside the courthouse this morning as the judge hears arguments over it.
Happening now, a manhunt is underway for 3 escaped prisoners in Southern California. Authorities say they cut their way out of a maximum security jail in Santa Ana on Friday using bed sheets and clothing to rappel to freedom. All 3 men have international ties, and they're considered to be armed and dangerous.
So they pretty much shimmy down
I guess so.
on those, I guess, bed sheets? Developing this morning, new test scores could help high school students decide which advanced placement courses will be a good fit for them. AP classes allow high school students to get dual credit for high school and for college. It lets them graduate with fewer courses taken on campus. That means more money in their pockets. This month, students will be receiving their personalized PSAT score reports, which flag which AP courses might work best for them.
Students can learn critical skills that will help them in college and in life, skills in critical thinking, communication, problem solving, time management, and so on.
Students and families can go to exploreapd.org to learn more about the more than 30 different courses that are available to them. Take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Get an early start.
Another driver attacked. What police say this woman was trying to do before she trashed an Uber driver's car, why she could lose her job over it.
And a plea for leniency. What an Albuquerque woman told a judge about herself after being charged with child abuse.
Also, keeping kids safe, why a lawmaker says New Mexico schools are not going far enough to protect kids, and what he says should be the next step. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Krista Gutierrez.
And I'm Adam Atchison. It's Monday, January 25th, starting a new week together. Got to look at that forecast as we start today.
Grab the jackets. We're talking cooler temps today. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, guys. Yes, cooler temps and more snow in the forecast later on tonight. You're not going to find it out there yet, though. We have a mostly clear sky here in the metro. Some high clouds to the south of us, but nothing really falling from those clouds. Had a few flurries up in the northern mountains overnight. We'll see if we can get a few more flakes to fall before those better snow chances get in here later this evening. Now, sunshine is what we're going to face here in the Duke City today. Temps in the mid-40s, not the 50s that we got lucky with over the weekend. So it is going to be a different start to the work week. Winter weather advisories are up already for the northeast and the east central areas. These kick in 5 p.m. this afternoon. Most of what we see fall in the next 48 hours will happen overnight. I do think tomorrow morning's commute is going to be a problem for some, especially for those on the other side of the Central Mountains. Eastern Plains, you guys are actually favored for this setup, and it's going to be today and tomorrow before things quiet down Wednesday through the later end of this work week. So I'll break down the details of tonight's snow chances, show you where and how much we're looking at. That coming up in about 15 minutes.
New this morning, one New Mexico lawmaker looking to keep your kids safe is proposing big changes for schools across the state.
Yeah, he just introduced a bill to close up a loophole that allows some school employees to get by without a background check. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is here to explain the details. Catherine?
That's right, Adam. Parents, listen up. Right now, background checks are not required for many school employees who have regular contact with your student. That includes school cooks and custodians.
You have contact with children, then you should definitely have a background check.
Representative David Atkins says the case of APS's former deputy superintendent brought this issue to light, and the Attorney General's report spurred him to craft this piece of legislation. You probably remember APS hired Jason Martinez without a background check. Several months later, child molestation charges surfaced out of Denver. The AG's audit of APS revealed 4 more district employees never underwent required background checks, and they found more than 2,000 employees without background checks on file. Atkins says his proposal would require all district employees to pass background checks, new hires and current employees. That includes workers like cooks and custodians. The bill would also close a loophole that allows employees who have worked since 1998 or before 1998 to work without a background check.
The nice thing about these background checks is that it'll be reported to the school district even if something happens later on down the road. So it really does keep our children safe.
If the bill becomes law, all current school employees will have to have a background check on file by July 2017. Back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you. Jason Martinez, by the way, is heading back to court for a retrial in March after a hung jury could not decide on a verdict.
On to this morning, 2 men are behind bars after police say they tried kidnapping a 14-year-old girl. Investigators say the teen was walking to a community center in the South Valley on Saturday when 26-year-old Jace Bobelu and 30-year-old Manuel Llamas asked her if she wanted to go to a party with them. When the teen refused, APD says Llamas grabbed her buttocks and tried to kiss her. They're both facing criminal sexual contact, kidnapping, and conspiracy charges.
An Albuquerque woman is facing child abuse charges today after police say she drove impaired with a child in the back seat.
I do not do drugs, I do not drink alcohol, and I never have.
And despite the allegations against her, Hillary Humbles told a judge she didn't do anything wrong. Police, though, say Humbles did rear-end another driver at Wyoming and Copper on Friday. When officers arrived on scene, they say they found Humbles in the driver's seat with her girlfriend's child in the back. At the time, officers say she admitted to taking Ambien and Klonopin earlier in the day. She was arrested for child abuse. Her bond is now set at $5,000, and she remains in jail this morning.
Good news this morning. Hikers stranded in the Sandia Mountains are safe today thanks to rescue crews. Search and rescue teams found the 2 groups of hikers Saturday, then escorted them down to a base camp where AFD checked them out and released them. The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department says one group was stuck near the crest. The other was lost near La Luz Trail.
6:34 this morning. As you wake up today, federal government buildings and schools in the nation's capital are closed. That storm that walloped the mid-Atlantic over the weekend is over now, but authorities are warning that travel could still be tricky. 2 feet of snow hit that area, and meanwhile, much of the nation's air system is also slowly picking back up after thousands of flights were canceled.
On to this developing story this morning. You might want to check that salad package in your fridge before you head out today. The CDC is investigating a listeria outbreak linked to Dole salad packages. 1 person died, 12 others were hospitalized after getting sick with listeria. The salad was sold under various brand names. Listen up, that it does include Dole, Fresh Selections, Simple Truth, and President's Choice. The manufacturing code begins with the letter A.
6:35 and developing this morning, a Florida doctor is on leave from her residency after she was caught on camera attacking an Uber driver.
I'm a 5-foot girl that weighs 100 pounds. I'm getting really belligerent.
Police say it all began when that woman tried taking an Uber that somebody else had called, and when the driver refused to take her anywhere, she can be seen kicking him. Then she goes to his car and starts throwing things at him, telling him to get in, eventually throwing things out of the car and walking away. Police say they did respond, but they didn't write a report. The hospital where she works is conducting an internal investigation to determine if she will ultimately lose her job over all this.
So this is not the first time we've seen an attack on Uber drivers. It's very concerning.
It is, and the people were kind of standing by shooting video rather than maybe stepping in. I know it's tough to kind of make a call one way or the other, but anyway, we'll see how that all shakes out, right?